Back again with another edition of the Red, Gold, and Bold podcast with you as always. Jeffri Chadiha from the NFL Network, NFL.com. Sam McDowell from the Kansas City Star. My name is Soren Petro from Sports Radio 810 WHB as we talk some Kansas City Chiefs football and a little NFL football as well as we're giving our predictions for the season. Who is going to win the AFC West? All the divisions. We'll give you our division winners for the AFC, NFC, our wild cards. What are the playoffs going to look like? Who's the Super Bowl? Who wins it all? We've got awards for the Chiefs that we're going to give out, awards for the NFL. We'll make all those predictions. We'll recap some of our bold and daring predictions as well. And, of course, we'll welcome our friend David Starnes, of course, the title sponsor here of the Red, Gold, and Bold, his great all-state agency, there to help you. He's going to help us make some predictions a little bit later on. It's all coming up right now here on the Red, Gold, and Bold podcast.
You are listening to the Red, Gold, and Bold podcast, the most in-depth analysis of the Kansas City Chiefs on planet Earth, breaking down the Chiefs like no one else can. Red, Gold, and Bold is hosted by Jeffri Chadiha, Sam McDowell, and Soren Petro. Jeffri Chadiha is a senior columnist and on-air personality for the NFL Network and NFL.com. Sam McDowell is the sports columnist for the Kansas City Star. Soren Petro is the afternoon drive host of the program on Sports Radio 810 WHB in Kansas City. The Red, Gold, and Bold podcast is proudly brought to you by David Starnes Allstate Insurance, covering all the important things in your world: home, business, life, and even the fun stuff as well. Motorcycle, boat, ATV, you name it. Get with Dave and he'll have you covered. You can give Dave and his crew a call, visit them online, or stop into any of their locations, including North Kansas City, Liberty, and Branson, Missouri. Elevate your coverage, elevate your confidence, and drive worry-free. Don't put those insurance needs off any longer. Get with Dave. He'll give you peace of mind today for the things in your life most important to you. Now, here are the hosts of the Best Chiefs podcast, Jeffri Chadiha, Sam McDowell, and Soren Petro.
Thank you very much, Curtis. We do appreciate it. It's our prediction time. It's something that I feel we have to do. If you would like to complain about them, if you would like to tell us we're wrong, feel free to make a prediction on every single team in every division, basically every division winner, every playoff team at least. Let's put it that way. I don't want to overstate what it is we're doing. And then you can complain, but if you're not going to make those predictions, let's be honest. I don't think any of us really want to hear about it. Jeff, I always like one of the things to do is to start what we learned from this. We've done this. You and I have done it several years. Sam is a newbie to this exercise. We've been doing it for several years. This was our fourth time going through and making these predictions. Is that right?
Yeah, we're growing up in a hurry.
Yeah, and we'll see if Sam looks like a pro or if he looks like an amateur or what. But what'd you learn when you went through and started trying to figure out, all right, who's going to win each one of these divisions? Anything jump at you? Anything surprise you?
Well, usually it's a lot harder to go away from what you saw last year and try to pick new teams. We all know that whoever made the playoffs last year, you're probably going to have some kind of turnover of at least two or three teams. But it wasn't that hard this year. It felt like it was a lot easier to go outside the box and pick some people who didn't win the division last year. I think probably at least 4 of my division winners are teams that didn't win it last year. So, and some of my playoff picks are at least 2 or 3 of my wild cards are teams that didn't make the playoffs last year. So I feel pretty good about at least being open-minded to change this year.
That's interesting. Sam, because I had a little bit different reaction here. I'll get to that in a minute. Sam, what'd you take away? Anything you learned from that? You're muted, Sam. This is what I talk about us being veterans.
That's right. Not even a pro yet.
Right. A couple things. I mean, I agree with Jeff that, last year's imprinted in your brain. It's kind of hard to move away from that. Having said that, I thought it was pretty clear that the AFC is still king over the NFC, because picking the NFC playoff teams, I'm picking some teams that I certainly would not have in the AFC. But I think both conferences have opportunity for some teams to sneak in there that maybe we didn't see last year, because I don't see like 7 absolute surefire teams that I felt like I had to pick in either conference.
Yeah, that's interesting. And by the way, looking at some of the comments, we're coming at you 2 podcasts. I tweeted this out. 2 podcasts tonight. We're going to be breaking down here our predictions for the year. Then we're going to break down the Chiefs 53-man roster in the next one. So if you're catching this podcast later on, remember you can always be a part of the conversation. We stream live on LinkedIn, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. You can be a part of the conversation in the chat room if you'd like, and putting both podcasts together here tonight on a Tuesday. So you're going to get 2. If you're catching this one, check wherever you get your podcast. There's going to be a couple of them, and right after this, we'll be shutting down, then starting back up and picking talking about reacting to the 53-man roster of the Kansas City Chiefs. So that's going to be coming up a little bit later on, but basically going through our predictions for all the NFL and some of the highlights for the Kansas City Chiefs. And I'll say this to you guys. The thing that kind of jumped out at me, I'm going to do terrible. Can I just make a prediction on this? Because it seems so easy, and I like to pick it and then go see how I looked compared to the NFL odds. I want to be mostly in line with the odds, but I want to have a couple of ones that go against the grain. I am chalky as all chalk gets, and I hate that. And all the chalk is not going to come in. It to me is just that's just a sign of death. When I'm finding myself right there, just with everything else, I'm like, this is not going to go good. Anyone feel really confident, Jeff? You said it was easy, but do you feel confident you're going to get it right?
No. It's the NFL. You don't know what's going to happen. You have some teams go out there and have a rash of injuries, or teams go out there with quarterbacks that we never thought would be good and play well. There's at least 5 or 6 teams that didn't make my list that I could easily see them being playoff teams if things broke right for them. So no, I'm not guaranteeing anything.
Yeah. Okay. By the way, I like this. Slow out of the block, Sammy.
Yeah, I'm getting ripped for the mute button.
Sam doesn't talk for a living.
That's true.
Sam's over here looking like a rookie, but meanwhile, Jeff, you slimming down. What's going on there, buddy?
I think it's just that the maroon I'm wearing tonight. It's a slimming effect.
And I was called pasty and gangsta and chalky. So I'm not sure what to take from that. I don't know where that is. Okay. We got some people already waiting with their predictions. Matthew, Chiefs, Ravens, Bills, Texans, all winning their divisions. That
was last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Matt's is Houston prime for a letdown, in my opinion. All right, let's get to our predictions. First, we'll tell you we're brought to you by David Starnes Allstate Insurance, serving the Kansas City area and all throughout the Midwest, covering all the important things in your world: home, business, life, even the fun stuff like motorcycles, boats, ATVs, you name it. Get with Dave, and he'll have you covered. Elevate your coverage, elevate your confidence, and drive worry-free. You can give Dave and his crew a call. Visit them online. Stop into any of their locations, including North Kansas City, Liberty, and Branson, Missouri. Don't put those insurance needs off any longer. Get with Dave. He'll give you peace of mind today for the things in your life most important to you. All right, let's get to our predictions now, guys. Let's start. We'll go with the AFC first, right? AFC East. Wonderful opportunity. I should bring the odds up. I think I can remember them all from the top of my head. I don't have them up, but I'll try to bring them up while we're chatting here. But Jeff, we always like to lead off with you. Who you got in the AFC East?
Buffalo. For all the noise made about their impending demise, they're like the Chiefs in the West. You can't count them out until they're actually out. So I'm sticking with Josh Allen and Sean McDermott.
Yeah, I got no problem with that. Sam, where are you?
Yeah, I've got the Bills as well. I think Josh Allen, based on his turnovers compared to his turnover-worthy plays, was an unlucky quarterback last year. I think there'll be some leveling out despite what he loses. And I actually think Josh Allen might feel a little bit freed up without Stephon Diggs. And I'm curious to see if he takes a step forward with just his comfort within Buffalo's offense to make it completely his offense now.
Well, let's go a step further. He loses an insufferable pain in his ass in getting rid of Stephon Diggs. I think Stephon Diggs has been a little bit, I don't know if a cancer, because they've obviously won. So maybe that's excessive to say, but I don't understand, all the tantrums and everything he's got going on over there. That to me makes no sense, right? Whatsoever. I think, getting rid of him is could be an addition by subtraction. I will say that the Chiefs, got rid of Tyreek Hill and won a Super Bowl. I'm not predicting that the Bills get better, but I do think the quarterback's more important than the wide receiver, and so I think that gives them an edge. The Jets are the favorite in this, division, slightly at least. I was looking here. I'm bringing it back up here again on what the AFC East is, but I don't get that. For me, I'm with the Bills, making a clean sweep. I'm on the Bills as well. I don't see where the Jets have any reason to believe that they're going to stay healthy. Yeah, Jets plus 160, Bills plus 195, Dolphins plus 210, Patriots a tidy plus 2,600. If you want to get on the Patriots, I think the Jets are just that's John Q. Public. That's $50 gambler guy bringing the number down on them. I'm not ready to believe in Robert Salah. I'm not ready to believe Aaron Rodgers can stay healthy. I'm not ready to believe in anything that's the Jets. They may be in my playoff pick, but they definitely are not winning the division. All right, let's go next to what do we got? AFC North next on the sheet. Is that what's up next? AFC North. Where do you go there, Jeff?
Bengals. I thought they would have won the division last year if Joe Burrow could have stayed healthy, but it didn't happen. But they won it the year before. They won it the previous 2 years, actually. So I like them to upseat the Ravens in that division, and I just think they're probably going to be a pretty strong Super Bowl contender in my mind. So safe bet. As long as Joe Burrow stays healthy, I like Cincy.
All right, at some point, somebody else is going to have to go first, so it doesn't sound like we're all copying Jeff. Sam?
Yeah, I've got the Bengals as well, for a lot of the reasons Jeff said, but I'll add one more thing to it, which is the Bengals finished last place last year. They get the advantage of a last place schedule this year in a division in which the Ravens are going to be playing a first place schedule. And so while I think those two teams are pretty evenly matched, I've got to take the advantage with the team that has the advantage based on the schedule makers. And so I think the Bengals possibly are the Chiefs' biggest competition to the number one seed this year.
I will say beyond that, I've got the Bengals as well. They are, to your point, Sam, the reason why the odds makers absolutely love the little like last to playoffs stat, because there's always somebody who has like exactly what happened. A really good quarterback gets hurt. They finish in last. They get a tout how much parity's there. Like, yeah, okay, I get it. You got a last place team in there, but it's just because their quarterback got hurt. So this is the NFL. It's already written. The press release is already written for after the regular season comes around for X number of last place teams made it. This many new teams. Yeah, there'll be 3 new teams, 2 or 3 new teams in each conference, and there'll be ones that had quarterbacks stay healthy. Like it's not exactly quite the riddle that the NFL PR department would like you to believe that it is. All right, so clean sweep there on the Bengals. We've each taken the second favorite on this. By the way, the Ravens favorite, again, after winning last year, plus 145, plus 165 for the Bengals, plus 450 on the Browns, not giving a lot of confidence to Deshaun Watson, plus 750 for Russell Wilson. A little bit surprised that the Steelers aren't getting a little bit better numbers. All right, let's go to the AFC South. Jeff, what do you got there?
I'm pretty sure we're going to be the same one on this one. Houston Texans are just too easy to pick right now. I was down there with that team earlier in training camp. They got all the pieces. They're talking a good game. They're excited to play. The division is not that strong. I just feel like they're going to take a step forward and, again, be a team that, like the Bengals, could challenge the Chiefs.
Okay. Sam?
Yeah, I've got the Texans, but a little bit more cautiously. I just don't think that division has a lot of competition for Houston right now. But they went 10-7 last year, and I don't know that I'd predict them much better than that. I just think it's a place that did have this advantage that I just talked about that the Bengals had. They had that advantage last year, and I'm interested to see what C.J. Stroud does when teams defend the deep ball. He threw the ball deep more frequently than any quarterback in the league, as Patrick Mahomes did his first year as a starter. Teams are going to adjust to that this year. I don't think he's going to have the openings he did last year with Nico Collins and Tank Dell, and obviously they add Stephon Diggs. But I just think he's going to encounter some challenges he didn't a year ago, and I still think he's a terrific young quarterback. But I just think there's going to be some growing pains this year that, maybe are new to him, and therefore I still have the Texans because I don't like the rest of that division. but I don't know that I'm going to say they improved drastically on a 10-7 record they had a year ago.
This is where I'm going to branch off, or if I'm going to have something different.
Okay.
Unless I want to make sure I didn't mess up. Okay, I thought I might have chickened out and gone ahead and gone Houston. No, I'm going Jacksonville. I'll take the Jacksonville Jaguars, and my reasoning for this, by the way, the odds makers favor what you guys have. Houston plus 105, so basically even money against the field, which is only 3 teams, but even money against the field. Jacksonville plus 270, Colts plus 310. We saw some people thinking the Colts are a little bit sneaky in there, with where they might be. But I think that, and then Tennessee Titans plus 950. I saw one person said they like the Titans. I mean, if you bring that home, you're going to cash a pretty good check there. But I listen, Stephon Diggs, welcome to the circus, Houston. Like, I know you want to go get a veteran and get another weapon and everything, and he's done well every place he's gone to, and maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I'm a year early on this, but I think he will eventually self-destruct there. I think the self-destructions of the diva wide receivers get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. See Antonio Brown, as they get older and older and older and start losing a step. By the way, Stephon Diggs now 30. Go back to what's his name for the 49ers that went to the Eagles and self-destruct. Terrell Owens. I expect the same kind of thing here. We got a coach who was great in 1 year, but do we know he's great every year? Everybody's good in that first year. And I expect a regression from the Texans. And I think Doug Peterson can coach. The better quarterback is C.J. Stroud, but Trevor Lawrence is solid. Give me the Jaguars to come home in the AFC. We're brought to you by our friends at Gann Asphalt and Concrete, Kansas City's best when it comes to protecting your parking lot, fixing your parking lot, building your parking lot, proudly serving the greater Kansas City area. Since 1994, 30 years. That's right. They've been making parking lot problems disappear. Nationally recognized full-service paving and pavement maintenance contractor. Don't risk accidents. Don't risk liability in your parking lot. Get your lot restriped today. A brightly striped lot will cut down on accidents and keep your lot as safe as possible. Find them online at GannAsphalt.com or call 816-484-3338. Gann Asphalt and Concrete, one contractor, all things parking lot. All right, that takes us to our AFC Wild Cards. Where are you going in the AFC Wild Cards? What do we want to do? One at a time here, Jeff?
Did we skip the West?
We did skip the West. I'm sorry, because I figured we all have the Chiefs. I have the Chiefs.
Yeah, we're talking about the Chiefs plenty later on. Let's just check the box with the Chiefs.
Does anybody have anything there? Is that at all? Do you see a competition there at all, Jeff?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. So we've all got the Chiefs. My bad. I checked that out. I figured we were all on the Chiefs. All right. So let's go to the wild card. What do you got for your top wild card there, Jeff?
Top one is the Ravens.
Okay.
I feel like they, even though they won't win their division, I still see them as probably a 12-win team. They got everything you'd like to see coming back from last year. The only thing they're missing is Odell. It's not, major losses. So defense should be strong. Coaching change might be a big deal. A defense coordinator, Mike McDowell, being in Seattle now, but I still think they're pretty strong.
Okay. Sam, your first wild card?
Yeah, I've got the Ravens as well. And I guess the only thing I'd note is the 4 division winners in the Ravens is kind of the top tier of the AFC, I think. I think you could argue the Chiefs are in their own tier, but really I view these top 5 teams as tier 1 of the AFC. And then I think it takes a pretty precipitous drop after that.
Okay. I think that's fair. I've got Baltimore in there as well. I won't be shocked if they win the division, but Baltimore, this is what they kind of do, is have that one great year where they're the 1 seed and then flame out in the playoffs somewhere, usually at the hands of the Kansas City Chiefs. And then they kind of fall back to being a wild card. So I'm expecting something kind of similar to that. So I've got Baltimore in there as well. Number 2 wild card for you, Jeff.
Your favorite team, Jets, Jets. Between them and the Dolphins, as far as who else will come out of the AFC East. So I like Aaron Rodgers being healthy. That defense is still feisty. Yeah, it's a lot to hope for in terms of injuries, people staying healthy. But I liked them last year. I think Rodgers with a chip on his shoulders is a pretty safe bet.
Okay. All right. Number 2 for you, Sam.
I've got the Dolphins at number 6 seed overall. I think they're about where they were last year. Last year, the final week of the regular season, they're playing for a division title. They lose the game, so they have to come to Kansas City in a 6-3 matchup. I think that's about where the Dolphins are again this year.
I can't help you with the Dolphins. I think this is the year they kind of take a step back and fall out of it. First of all, Tua is always a threat to get hurt. They've already started messing around with Odell Beckham Jr. That's usually a disaster. Already is. He's out 4 games. Listen, I like Mike McDaniel. There's something. They lose Dexter Lawrence. I think that's a big loss. I think they're going to feel that on the defensive side of the ball. So I'm not on the Dolphins. I don't have them in the playoffs. But this is where I put the Houston Texans. I've got the Texans for all the reasons you guys stated. While I don't think they win the division, I don't think they fall that far. I do think they have quality coaching. I think they've got a solid rudder there. They've got a tremendous young quarterback. I think Diggs will be an issue, but I think they'll get there. Mostly because I don't like some of the other teams. I think it's a little bit too early for some of the other teams. But also, this is one of the reasons why I hate my predictions, because it's very chalky, and I'm missing that team to come from off the pack. Jacksonville's the only kind of wild card I've got in the mix, which we'll see in a second. All right, so there's my number 2 is Houston. Number 3, last wild card in for you, Jeff, is who?
This was tough. Toss-up between Chargers and Browns. I went with the Browns because defense is stronger. I feel as if Deshaun Watson is not going to be an elite quarterback again, but I think he can be better than what he's been so far. And with Nick Chubb being hurt, the offense may shift more towards being about his personality, which is more wide open, more freewheeling. So I think they get back in.
Number 3 for you, Sam.
Yeah, I mean, this is where I like you, Soren, try to avoid chalk. And the Browns make all the sense in the world, other than I do have a lot of questions about their offense. But they do have good weapons, even as I have those questions about, the offensive questions I have are based on Deshaun Watson. Just the past 2 years he's had have been pretty miserable. I don't see reason why he's going to take a step forward. Jeff offered, I think, the most logical one, but I just can't get on board with Deshaun Watson. And defenses, as we talked about, have a tough time following up top 5 defenses to carry on the next year. So just to try and get away from the chalk, I think the team I could sneak in there the most would be the Chargers. As a 7th seed. And the reason why is they've got the second easiest schedule in the NFL. And by the way, when I quote schedules, it's based on Vegas wins. It's not based on what teams did a year ago. It's projected Vegas wins this year. They've got the second easiest schedule in the NFL. And the Chargers have long had this, don't shoot yourselves in the foot schedule, and they just shoot themselves in the foot. And they finally have a coach who doesn't shoot himself in the foot. And so I'm just projecting the Chargers to win the games they should win. And they've got a lot of easy winnable games on their schedule, and they can sneak in at 9-8 as the 7th seed.
All right. I could see the Chargers being there, but this is where I go ahead. And I think it's interesting Sam doesn't have the Jets. This is where I join Chadiha. Because it's probably the worst nightmare I can think of, the Jets getting into the playoffs. It will probably happen. This will be the one that I get right, is that the New York Jets will be in the playoffs. They do have a lot of talent. And they got a guy who can spin it. So this ought to get them there. And if I think the Dolphins are backing up, I think somebody else is stepping forward. The Colts are a popular one. I do think if Richardson's the real deal, then we're all missing on the Colts, right? If he's the real deal, we're missing on the Colts. But I'm not convinced he's the real deal. And I'm not convinced they're going to keep him away from the run. And I'm not convinced that he's going to be healthy. So but if he is healthy and he is the real deal, they could be the team that, they're at very least they were almost the Texans last year.
They're well coached.
They are. And I think they could take a big step forward. If we're all missing on something, we're missing on the Indianapolis Colts.
But think about the real deal, though. You're talking about the team we just all laid out. That's Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Aaron Rodgers, CJ Stroud. The real deal is still going to be 7th or 8th best quarterback in this conference.
Yeah, no, it is. But the conference has all the quarterbacks, right? You're the 7th or 8th best in the conference, but you're also 9th or 10th best in the league. So you're still high quality. So it could be what comes down to the other injuries or the scheduling quirks that end up smiling on you when it's all said and done. All right, NFC's up next. First, I'll tell you, online or curbside, you can shop daily at Best of Me Wellness for all your cannabis needs. Use promo code PODCAST25 to save 25% on your entire order right now. That's PODCAST25, and you can save 25% on your entire order. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 to 9, Sundays 10 to 6. Locations in Kansas City, Liberty, Smithville, Berry Road, and Warrensburg. Even delivery for medical marijuana. Getting your cannabis has never been easier. At Best of Me Wellness, they strive to make your life as easy as possible. Cannabis, they make that as accessible as possible. Safe, secure, and discreet delivery, even same-day delivery is available. Deals at your doorstep with daily deals. And, of course, the promo code podcast25 applying to home delivery orders as well. With delivery to your home or business, restrictions may apply. And Besseme's top-rated customer service team is ready to assist you with any questions or issues. Remember the promo code. It's podcast25 to save 25%. Let's start on the NFC, Jeff. NFC East. You're all about the Cowboys, right? Tell me you love you some Cowboys.
I do, just not as the division champion. Eagles look too good with all the talent they brought in. I love Saquon Barkley. I think Jahan Dotson as a receiver, a third receiver, is a sneaky, nice acquisition for them. And the defense is going to be better because the secondary is going to be stronger. So I'm going with the Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Fly, Eagles, fly. Okay, let's go to you. Sam, where are you in the NFC East?
Oh, boy.
There it is. The rookie mistake.
First of all, I have no excuse. Second of all, the actual excuse is that I'm trying to type something to you guys and not be heard by everybody, so you can actually get the ad read in.
And they put a symbol on the actual screen when you're on mute, too. You can look at the screen.
I've got the Cowboys. I am stunned about the love for the Eagles, to be honest, especially in Vegas, why they're the favorites. They were historically bad defensively over the back half of last season, and I just don't think they've done enough. So I've got the Cowboys, but I think this division is really overrated, especially the top of this division. I think a 9-8 Cowboys team or 10-7 Cowboys team wins the division.
I think if the Eagles have their heads on right, they're going to win this division. I think the Cowboys come back a little bit. I think CeeDee Lamb's a strong candidate to get hurt. All the mess with the quarterback contract is an issue there. Giants, I don't see anything in the Giants, but I do think the Commanders could be salty, right? I don't think they're going to win it, but they could steal some games. So if you don't handle business against the Commanders, that could be what costs you. But the Eagles, I'm going to take a chance at Jalen Hurts, not his immature head coach, Nick Sirianni. Jalen Hurts circles the wagons and gets it done. I'm on the Eagles in the East. Jeff, NFC North?
Lions, toughest division in football this year for my money, but the Lions, they made the NFC Championship game last year. Pretty much everybody's back. I think that they've got a chip on their shoulder, too. Hard to bet against them.
Okay. Sam?
Yeah, I've got the Lions as well, but I toggled with this one between them and the Packers just to foreshadow one of my wild card teams. I don't think it's tougher than the AFC North, though. I think with the Bengals, I think the Steelers is the last place team there. I had the Ravens in there. Jeff also had the Browns in there. 3 playoff teams out of 1 division. But the Lions addressed what they needed to address, which mostly was keeping the talent they had last year.
Yeah, I'm on the Pack. I'm not 100% all in. Jeff's heard me for a couple of years now, so I'm not sure I get it with with Coach shoulder press. He's done a fantastic job. Eager would tell us all the time about it. He's best on 4th downs and all those different decisions and everything. But I'm still not convinced. I'm also not convinced about Jared Goff. I think the best quarterback is Love. I'm on the Packers to get it done in this division. I think the best coach is in Green Bay as well. All right, NFC South, Jeff.
I'm drinking the Falcons Kool-Aid here. I know the Bucs have won it, 3 or 4 years in a row, but Kirk Cousins coming down there, the talent down there, the Bijan Robinsons and, the defense picking up Matthew Judon. They've got a bunch of weapons that have been first-round picks. It just feels like if they can get to 10 wins, that's enough to win this division.
Yeah. All right. Where are you, Sam?
Yeah, I'm on the Falcons as well. Not a great division, obviously. I still have a lot of questions about their defense in particular. And I know I've mentioned this rationale before, but the Falcons have the very easiest schedule in the entire NFL. And if I am on the fence about any pick, which I am with the Bucs and the Falcons, I think that has to be something that tips the scales a little bit. So I've got the Falcons.
I wanted to go with the Bucs because I'm a Todd Bowles fan, but I'm on the Falcons because they're minus 145 favorite against the field, and I don't really get it. But somebody must know something that I don't for them to be that big a favorite, minus 145. Bucs plus 290 to win the South. So I tuck tail and grab some more chalk. Give me the Falcons. Don't love it, but I'll take the Falcons. I don't think they're as strong as other people do either. NFC West, Jeff, same old, same old?
Niners.
Yeah, Niners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sam?
Yeah, 49ers.
I think the Rams could be a bigger challenge than some other people might think. I know they're getting some love here and there, but I think the Rams, I believe in McVay. 49ers, they've just been right there. Like at some point, don't they get bored or don't they make a mistake? I don't know. But I've got the 49ers as well. All right. Wild card, Jeff, what's your first wild card?
First one is Green Bay. All the reasons you said. I mean, it was tough to think about them not being division champions, but I think they're 11-12 win team. Jordan Love has an MVP caliber season. I was in their training camp as well, and the defense is going to be much better. A new coordinator going into 4-3 after 3-4. I think everything's moving in the right direction there.
All right, Sam?
Yeah, I've got the Packers as well. I mean, they went on a streak of 7-2 last year, including the first round of the playoffs. Really, they very easily could have beaten San Francisco to get the NFC title game last year, and I don't see why they would take a step back from the way they played over the second half of the season.
And I'm the inverse. You guys come around to my Packers. I come around to your Lions. I've got the Lions in there. I definitely think they're a strong football team. I just think Green Bay nips them for the division, but I definitely have the Lions being in the playoffs. Number 2 wild card, Jeff.
This is where I love my Cowboys because for all the attention they get and scrutiny they get, they still got some pretty good players. They may not be that deep, but when you look at Dak being an MVP caliber quarterback last year, CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons, Trayvon Diggs comes back. I know the other corner, Deron Bland, is out for a while with some leg injury, but you got enough guys like the Chiefs. If their star players play well, they should be a playoff team.
All right, Sam.
Yeah, I'm surprised on the first one to mention this, Matthew Stafford, but I've got the Rams 6, and
wow.
Similar to my rationale for Green Bay. I mean, the Rams were terrific down the stretch of the season last year. They finished 7-1 with their only loss by 6 in Baltimore, and that was that overtime game with the return punt for a touchdown. I mean, the Rams were as good as anybody in the NFC last year over the last half of the season after their bye week. And I feel a little bit uncomfortable because it's banking on Matthew Stafford's health, which is a really difficult thing to bank on. But the NFC is weak enough to where I think he could miss 4 or 5 games and the Rams could still get in when he is healthy.
I'm on the Cowboys because I have Mike McCarthy as a good football coach, despite everything that everyone throws at him. He does a nice job. There is still weapons. If CeeDee Lamb goes down, that is a big problem, which the injury, like I said, the injury rate goes up when you have a holdout. But I like Mike McCarthy. I think he's an underrated football coach, and I think that he'll get the Cowboys into the playoffs. Last wild card, Jeff?
The Bears. Sam mentioned how the AFC North can have 3 playoff teams. I got the NFC North doing the same thing. And maybe I'm drinking that Kool-Aid a little bit too hard, but I look at the talent they have around them. I was on the sideline of the preseason game with the Chiefs, and you looked at Rome Odunze and DJ Moore and Keenan Allen and Montez Sweat and DeAndre Swift, and they got some dudes over there. And the quarterback, to me, is going to be the real deal. I know he's got some detractors, but he seems like he's going to be special.
Okay. I do not have the Bears. It was tough for me to leave them out, but I like the Rams for all the reasons we've stated. I like McVay. I like Stafford. That's a lot of talent there. I think they've got firepower on offense. I think they've done a really nice job. I mean, we thought this was going to be a cold winter for like 5 years after all the way they went all in, but they do so well in the later rounds of the draft. And they got the coach and the quarterback, and that's a great place to start. So give me the Rams as my final NFC wild card. Remember, we're brought to you by David Starnes Allstate Insurance. With David Starnes Allstate, it's not just about fender benders. Non-traditional safeguards. Enjoy perks like roadside assistance for unexpected breakdowns, transportation expense to cover you when your car is in the shop, auto replacement protection to keep you on the road in style, and much, much more. Elevate your coverage, elevate your confidence, and drive worry-free. Give Dave and his crew a call. Visit them online or stop into any of their locations, including North Kansas City, Liberty, and Branson, Missouri. Don't put those insurance needs off any longer. Get with Dave. He'll give you peace of mind today for the things in your life most important to you. All right, let's get to our conference champions, gentlemen. Where do we go? AFC champion will be. Let's leave Jeff for last. I got, because he's the one everyone's worried about. I think they know where Sam and I'll go. I've got the Chiefs. Sam, do you have the Chiefs?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so we have the Chiefs. The only one that anybody here wants to really know is, does Captain Pessimism Jeff Chadiha have the Chiefs?
No. That's the Bengals. That's the Bengals. And the odds favor me because the Chiefs have been there twice the last 2 years. So the odds of going 3 times and winning 3 times are not high. So,
but they've already done 1 and 2. The odds of getting the odds of 3 in a row are difficult because you've got to get 1 and then 2. They've already gotten 1 and then 2. Now they just have to get the 3.
And they look so good right now, so prepared to do it, right?
Jeff,
it's time to go run through the AFC and get once again.
You are the guy in Vegas who looks up and goes, "Oh, the roulette wheel, it's gone black 9 times in a row. It's due to go red. I'm going to bet red." You're that guy, huh?
And I don't even gamble, but that's how gamblers are supposed to think, right?
No, absolutely not. An object in motion tends to stay in motion. That's how you ride a streak. Don't try to stop it. One thing I tell people when it comes to gambling is like, if you like, oh, that team's won 7 in a row. Yeah, either bet them or get the hell out of the way, right? If a train's going down the tracks, either ride the train or get out of the way. Definitely don't stand on the tracks like this, okay? With your hands up trying to stop the streak. No, you either ride the Chiefs or get out of the way. But there is compelling evidence to take somebody else because no one's ever won 3 in a row. They've gotten to the conference championship game. I don't think we've had somebody go 3 in a row. Yeah. Well, the Bills lost 4 in a row. And the Dolphins, went loss, win. They went to 3 in a row.
Yeah, they went 3 in a row. Yeah.
Patriots have been a 3 in a row as well.
Yeah. By the way, Matt is correct. I am foaming at the mouth. Really, Sam's the better poker player. Sam is foaming at the mouth to invite Jeff over for a round of poker. We can play it at my hand. Or play it at my house. We're all excited to get into some gambling.
Soren, just to make this a little bit more intriguing question for you and me, I'd pick the field over the Chiefs still, though.
Yes, I would.
Even in the AFC. I'm not just talking about the Super Bowl. I'm talking about the AFC.
Always.
But now you're hedging your bets.
Yeah. No, we're not hedging it. We're just saying.
I'd pick the Chiefs over any single team for sure.
Yes.
But I'd pick the field if I could have every team
100%.
rather than the Chiefs.
100%. Absolutely. 100%. All right, NFC champ, Jeff, who you got?
Niners.
Okay.
They've been there what? They've been 2 Super Bowls and 4 NFC championship games in the last 5 years?
They've been there a lot, to say the least. Yeah, they're there on a regular basis. All right, how about you, Sam?
I've got the Lions. I think the Niners took some steps back that I don't know why people aren't putting more stock into, and we still don't know what Brandon Ayuk is going to give them this year. Their offensive line has questions to me. I just think the Lions, like I said, addressed most of the concerns, which is just retaining what they had. And I think they are a little bit better defensively than they were a year ago.
This is a good point. Now Jeff is getting on the train. Jameson says, now you're on the Niners. We're not going to stop that one.
Oh, yeah. It's a different level of train.
Yeah.
I've gone to the AFC championship games in a row.
I'm going to go with the Packers. Like, one of the things that happens in the Super Bowl is, and we saw it last year with Patrick Mahomes and Brock Purdy, usually get the veteran, expensive quarterback. And one of the teams is usually always a quarterback on a first contract, right? That isn't Jared Goff. Could still be Brock Purdy. He fits that bill. But it's not Jared Goff, but it is Jordan Love, who I know just signed the big contract. The big money doesn't kick in till next year or even the year after that. So I think it'd be wise if you want to put some money down on at least a conference champion, find some first contract quarterbacks to put some money down on that if you want to bet that, because you're going to get longer odds, but there usually is a first contract quarterback in the Super Bowl. So I will go with the Green Bay Packers. Super Bowl champ, Jeff, you have who? San Francisco or Cincinnati?
Niners.
Okay. Sam?
I've got the Chiefs.
And I've got the Chiefs too. Same reason that you just said. I'll take the Chiefs against any one team, but I'll take the field against.
I love how you guys just go blind. You just put on your blinders and just move forward no matter what's happening.
Let's not act like we're let's not act like we're sitting here in Chicago and picking the Bears.
Well, yeah.
I mean, they are the Super Bowl favorite in Vegas.
What are the odds? Are they?
Yes.
Are they now? Yes. Niners are no longer that seat.
Let me see. They were.
No, do you want to change your pick?
Hang on. Let me.
I'll look the odds of repeating.
No, you.
By the way, the 49ers making it 4 of the last 5 years is somehow an advantage, but the Chiefs making it 2 straight years is a disadvantage.
It's motivation.
Chiefs
still got that young quarterback.
Chiefs plus 550, 49ers plus 600. So the Chiefs are currently the betting.
So it's like a huge difference.
Baltimore plus 1,100, Lions plus 1,200 on that. So just if you are interested in that. All right, let's go to the MVP. Who's your MVP, Jeff?
CJ Stroud.
Okay.
I think they're going to throw the ball a lot, and he's going to put up a lot of big numbers, and it's going to be like a Patrick Mahomes second year in the NFL type thing.
Okay. I like it. Sam?
Yeah, I've got Mahomes.
Good Lord. Yeah.
I mean, if the
That's
Chiefs
right.
are going to win the division,
That's right.
I actually do think Mahomes, most of his career is going to experience this LeBron effect, where he's got to outperform the rest of the competition so greatly. But I just think this year's the exception. I think it's going to be in their minds the way that he won with that wide receiver group last year. They realized the Chiefs didn't have that great of a roster last year. They still won anyway. And I think people are going to be looking for an excuse to give Patrick Mahomes the MVP. And so this is the year where I don't think he's going to have to outperform the rest of the competition. I think if he equals it, and perhaps I think some other players are going to have to outperform him because of his history over the past year.
All right, I'm on Patrick Mahomes as well. You guys have heard some
shocker there.
Bold and daring predictions that I have for the league. I obviously think he's going to have a monster year. I think the offense is going to take 2 steps forward. Defense might take a step back, but he's going to put up numbers. I'm maybe more bullish on him to win the MVP than I am them to win the championship, because I think he's going to put up some big numbers. I may or may not, I did wager on over 4,500 yards passing and over 40 touchdowns for him. And for some reason, they wouldn't let me parlay those together.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? Because
didn't you have those same numbers last year?
I had him putting up huge numbers last year. Yeah, and that's why I'm doubling down this year. I got twice as much on it this year. It's going to get there. It's going to get there. What do you end up with? 4,100.
Where's he at in that race? Is he the MVP favorite, or who's the favorite?
MVP favorite?
Yeah, I believe he is.
Who are you asking? Who are you asking about, Jeff?
Mahomes.
Oh yeah, he's definitely the favorite.
Yeah, he's the favorite.
Yeah, it's hard.
Mahomes is
that's
450
right there.
Josh Allen second, and Stroud's third. I really did consider Josh Allen. I do think Josh Allen's going to have a big year.
I do too, and I think with the lesser receivers, he could get the kiss just the way Patrick Mahomes did a couple of years ago. But I think Mahomes may put up out of this world numbers when it's all said and done. All right, and then the number 1 overall pick. We also like to predict who's going to be destitute and awful.
New England.
New England
as well.
Yeah, Patriots are going to be terrible. They're going to be absolutely terrible. If your parking lot's terrible, GAN Asphalt and Concrete has you covered. Get your seal coating done right now before the weather turns cold. I know it's been hot, but we'll have cool weather here before long, and that means you're going to be racing the calendar to get it done. With free consultations, no commissions, in-house crews, and every project coming with a written warranty. GAN Asphalt keeps your parking lot safer, helps you and your business avoid unnecessary delays and costly expenses. Find them online right now at GANAsphalt.com or call 816-484-3338. GAN Asphalt and Concrete, one contractor, all things parking lot. All right, a couple more awards, and then we're to the Chiefs predictions. Let's start with the Offensive Player of the Year. Jeff, you go where?
Tyreek Hill.
Okay. Sam?
Do I have Offensive Player of the Year? I think I picked CeeDee Lamb.
You did. I can do it for you. I have it here in front of me.
Yeah, I've got CeeDee Lamb.
Okay. I've got Justin Jefferson. I do think he's going to put up big numbers with a lesser quarterback in Sam Darnold. I think that gets him there. CeeDee Lamb, I'm worried about getting hurt. Same thing with Tyreek Hill. He's 30. So I went with Justin Jefferson. Defensive Player of the Year. Jeff?
TJ Watt. He should have more of these by now, but so I think he gets some love.
Okay. We're up to you, Sam.
I've got TJ Watt as well, and actually for similar reasons as Jeff. And same thing I said about Mahomes. I think people realize that TJ Watt should have won this award in the past couple of years, and so I think they're going to be looking for an excuse to give it to TJ Watt.
I'm on Myles Garrett. I think he's a wrecking crew, and he comes through big. I don't think TJ Watt can stay healthy, so I take him out of the equation, and then I look around at who's next. I don't think it's going to be Micah Parsons for his kind of goofing around in training camp. So give me Myles Garrett to have a big sack year.
Has somebody ever repeated? When's the last time somebody repeated as the defensive
I think it was J.J. Watt.
J.J. Watt won 3 in a row.
Did he win 3 in a row?
3 out of
4. He won 3 out of 4. Yeah, Aaron Donald repeated as well.
Yeah, I'm going Myles Garrett on that one. All right, surprise of the year. This could be any number of things. What do you got for your surprise of the year, Jeff?
I'm going Jameson Williams blows up in Detroit.
Okay.
They've been waiting for it. He's more mature, put on some weight. If he with that offense, with the people around him, I think big year for Jameson Williams.
Okay, Sam.
I really like the Jameson Williams pick, but I picked Jackson Smith and Jigba. He was only 21 last year as a rookie, and 22, new offense. If Geno Smith's healthy, I think he's utilized more in that offense, especially with Lockett being a year older. So I've got Jackson Smith and Jigba.
I've got the Jacksonville Jaguars. I've got them going all the way to the AFC Championship game. I think Doug Peterson can coach. Like I said, I think they put that team together well, even though they maybe reached on some picks here and there. I think it's well built, and I think they bounce back in a big way. And I do think Trevor Lawrence is good. So I'll take the Jacksonville Jaguars to be the surprise team. I've already got them winning the division, but I'll have them. That's the team the Chiefs have to fight for the number 1 seed in the playoff structure. All right, now our disappointment. Jeff, what's your disappointment?
Dolphins.
Yeah,
It's a lot of hype, but big contract for Tua. But I don't see them being the same team they were last year.
Okay, Sam.
Aaron Rodgers. I don't understand. I guess maybe because Tom Brady played in his 40s, that it's just assumed that every quarterback can play into their 40s now. But one coming off of an Achilles injury, and he's going to be 41 in December. And New York is just a place of dysfunction. I mean, Hassan Reddick goes there, and before he even plays in a practice snap, he's demanding a trade. I think that place is dysfunctional right now. I could have picked the Jets or Aaron Rodgers, but I settled on the quarterback.
Okay. I think that's a fair pick. I've got the Miami Dolphins for the reasons I kind of stated before. I previewed this a little bit. I don't see the Dolphins being able to have that magic again. I don't see Tua staying healthy. And I think losing Lawrence in the middle of the defense is a big problem. I don't know. I just feel like they're due for a regression. And I kind of think, Tyreek Hill's due for some injuries, already dinged up in training camp. And I think if they lose him, some things start to come unraveled. Plus, now's the time where everybody should start figuring out everything that Miami's doing. Defenses should be ready to go. We shouldn't be seeing A-Chain average 14 yards a carry in games. There should be some reality that happens with the Miami Dolphins. All right, with the Kansas City Chiefs, we have a number of different things. Offensive and defensive player of the year, surprise, disappointment, record, playoff finish. We're going to get into that right now. But
We've got some bold predictions, right?
We have bold predict. Well, we had them.
The NFL ones?
We had ours. Do we want to knock those out first? I was going to do those at the end.
The NFL wide ones?
Yep. I was going to do those at the end.
Sure.
We'll do those at the end. We're going to have somebody help us pick here. One of the reasons we're able to bring you this podcast, which we enjoy very much, is because of the gentleman we welcome right now, David Starnes. David Starnes, Allstate Insurance. You hear us talking about it, a chance to actually see the man. When we talk about Dave having you covered, there he is, Dave and his crew. You can visit him online or stop by in person, covering all your insurance needs. Dave, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing fantastic.
Thank you for joining us. We appreciate the time. Let's start, first of all, real quick, an insurance question for me.
Okay.
And that is, what's the best way for people to get a hold of you? If they want to get in touch with you, if they need help with their insurance, if they got questions, what's the best way to get in touch?
If you dial 816-781-7331, best way to get a hold of us. On my phone, you can email me, Dave Starnes at allstateinsurance.com. And we're online at we have websites for each location here in Kansas City.
Okay.
So look us up on the web, and you can find each location right on there.
All right. And then next question is, why are rates going up? Let's cut right to the chase. Insurance rates are going up. Why are insurance rates going up? Gas.
Because I need a new pool. That's why. I need a new pool. No.
Gas can go up. Bread can go up.
Yeah.
All these things. Flights can go up. But for some reason, I don't feel like I should have to pay more for insurance. What's the deal?
Well, look, I mean, it's inflation. I mean, it's ruling our lives right now, right? And with inflation, everything has gotten more expensive. Actually, if you look at cars, the price of cars versus 2020 versus 2023, that's the data that we have available to us. They're 30% higher. The cost of a car is 30% higher, right? So in turn, parts are going to be more. When a claim hits, that is how insurance companies are measured, whether they're good or bad, right? I think I mentioned to you earlier today about loss ratio. So when the loss ratio for the insurance total insurance company as a whole gets to be 100%, 80%, 90%, that insurance company is not solid, not liquid, right? So the insurance company's job is to stave off that inflation and driving habits and cost of rebuilding your house. I know that if you were to look at the cost of your house or to rebuild it 2 years ago, it was about $110, $115 a square foot to rebuild your house. Well, today, inflation, cost of goods, cost of labor, right? Lack of labor, right? Lack of a workforce has turned that into like 240, 250, right? So that is where the rate comes into play. It's not fair. We don't like it. I'm a customer, right? They're not. I don't get a discount because I'm an agent, right? It's hey, here, it's like here's your rate increase. I have a claim. I complain just like you all do, right? Because I don't like, if I total a car out, I might not like the price they want to give me, but inflation drives that number down. So that's kind of where we're at.
Bottom line is everything that goes into fixing everything costs more now.
Yeah.
Right? And so there it is. Yeah. Everybody complains about their premium until it's time to cash in on it. Then it's like, thank God I have insurance, right? Like
here this morning before I started, and then I had like 17 people ask me about the rate. So
all right, well, we're not going to ask you anything else about rates or anything like that. We're going to let you in on our Chiefs predictions. Dave is going to make his predictions. So hopefully the three of us, we better outdo Dave. I mean, we're supposed to be good at this. Dave is moonlighting, right? Like, so we'll see where he goes on this. Let's start with Offensive Player of the Year. Dave, listen, do you want to be first up or do you want to be last?
I mean, somebody in the comment section will make fun of me. That's great.
Because they never make fun of us.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So look, I mean, me personally, I'm not gonna. First off, we're not gonna pick Mahomes. And
we said Mahomes is out of the Offensive Player of the Year.
For me, I think Pacheco has an opportunity to take that step up. I think the wide receiver core is young, so to speak, and there's some things they have to prove. So I think Pacheco's got a really good opportunity to get that going forward.
All right, I'm on the other side. I think Rashee Rice is going to play the whole year, and I think Rashee Rice is the guy that steps up. Sam, where are you?
I've got Rashee Rice as well. Maybe we should have asked David a Rashee Rice insurance question, but I've got Rashee Rice as well. I think Rashee Rice is a 1,200-yard receiver if he plays all year long.
Okay, I do too. Jeff?
Yeah, I went with Rashee Rice too. Suspension, still a concern, but for me he's the safest bet. But I will say I'm impressed that Dave knows how to use the mute button correctly. Sam's already playing from behind there, right?
The man owns his own company.
That's right. He's a master already. The keyboard.
All right. Defensive Player of the Year. Where are you going on defense, Dave?
Okay. So I'm going to preface this by what year is this for Chris Jones in the league? Year 9 or 10?
What would he be?
2016 he came in.
Does that sound right? Yeah.
8 or 9.
16.
Yeah. No, at least I think it might
year 8, right?
9. Year 9.
Year 9. So I think there's going to be some drop off, some attrition there. And I'm going to go with even though there's going to be a drop off, teams are still going to double team him. I'm going to go with Colossus. It's going to have a pretty solid year, I believe, with the double teams going on in the front line, and it's going to free him up to have a pretty impressive year.
How about Dave talking depreciation? Coming straight out of the insurance line of things, depreciation there with Chris Jones. All right, I'll go next. I do have Chris Jones. I think he's got one more. I think Dave is right. I think that's coming. But, man, I saw a wrecking crew in camp, and he was just destroying people. Health is a big thing, though. If he gets hurt, he's not going to get there. So I think there's a couple of tickets. Young guys stay healthy. Old guys get hurt. So there is some risk. There's more risk than it may sound with me taking Chris Jones, but I'll be on Chris Jones. Sam?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to pick Chris Jones. He's the best player at his position in football. He's the only Chiefs defensive player who can say that, unless the Chiefs decide to pay Trent McDuffie at the slot. But he's the Mahomes of the defense. The Chiefs go as Chris Jones goes.
Yeah. Okay. And finally, Jeff.
Low-hanging fruit, Chris Jones.
Chris Jones. All right. Surprise of the year. This is a positive surprise. We're talking about upbeat. Who do you got for a surprise this year, Dave?
I like Carson Steele myself. I think he's going to be an opportunity to grab some touchdowns inside the red zone, and I think it's going to be good.
Only 3 running backs on the team. I agree with Dave. I've got Carson Steele. I think he's going to get the ball. I think his style of physicality, I think he might be the goal line guy, the short yardage guy. So I think there's a lot of ways. And he's already, the hero with the flowing locks and the Thor nickname. I'll take Carson Steele as well. Sam?
Yeah, look, I mean, I knew all the people that only watch this team occasionally would pick Carson Steele. So I went with somebody a little bit more in the weeds with Jaden Hicks. I think Jaden Hicks can play multiple positions, and usually in the NFL, that's not the good thing it's cracked up to be. I remember after Tyrann Mathieu played everywhere in 2019 for the Chiefs, slot cornerback, safety, that everyone at the combine the next year was talking about. I'm a versatile defensive player. Isaiah Simmons was the big name that year. And remember, I can play anywhere. It turns out that you might want to master one position before you decide you can play anywhere. I think Hicks can do that in a dime safety role. And I think he's going to take over that Mike Edwards role for last year and be pretty effective in it.
All right, Jeff.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sticking with you guys. Dave and Soren. I'm going with Carson Steele. I think he will get more carries. I think there's more opportunities out there with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. You don't know about his availability, and he fits their need for short yardage back. So I think he will be used a lot more than we think.
Disappointment, right? This is the other direction. The player that we think is, maybe some big things are expected and it's not going to happen. Dave, what do you got there?
Well, I actually, if I could have picked the secondary, I would have picked the secondary, but I picked one of them. So it's Justin Reed. I think there's some opportunity for some backward spiral on that group going into this year.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Going into the final year, starting to get up there in years. I'm on Josh Williams. I'm with you on the secondary. That's the question mark here. So I'm on Josh Williams. And I bring it up, and it might be like, well, he hadn't done that much in preseason. Well, he was like a top 10 corner according to PFF grades. So I think he's the guy that everybody was expecting to just step in and be L'Jarius Sneed. I don't think it's going to happen. It's one thing to be graded top 10 when you're playing the third and fourth wideout. It's another thing when you have to check the number 2 guy. And if you don't even get a shot at the number 2 guy, that delivers on him being a disappointment right there. Already kind of banged up in training camp. I'm on Josh Williams. Sam?
I've got Felix Anudike-Uzomah, and not because I think significant things are expected from him this year, but because I think it would be disappointing if he doesn't take a significant step forward in year 2. And just based on what we've seen in the 3 preseason games, there's not a lot of evidence to suggest that that's going to happen.
Okay. Jeff?
I want Mike Dana because he's somebody who I think has expectations on him with the big contract in the offseason and the lack of growth from FAU and just the expectations on this defensive line to have to carry this defense now with the way the secondary is. So you look a lot better when your production is for a very little amount of money, but when you're making a lot more money, people expect more of you. And I think he's not going to elevate in the way we think.
All right, David, you get the honors again. Chiefs record this year after 17 games. What will it be?
12-5.
5. All right. I'm at 13-4. So Dave and I are pretty close on that. Sam?
I'm at 12-5 as well.
And then Jeff, 8-9, 7-10. Where do we come in?
I picked it right last year. I'm picking it right again this year, 11-6. You guys always go high.
We got to ask Jeff, where do you have the Chiefs in the playoffs since the rest of us?
You want to start with that's the next one where the playoff finish is.
Well, we know where you and I have them. Obviously, I didn't know we were picking. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, divisional round. If they get to the championship game, they'll get to the Super Bowl. So you can't pick them to get there and then be like they're going to lose. So I think if they lose, it's going to be in the divisional round.
Okay.
To the Bengals, or because you got the Bengals winning, so who plays the Bengals in the AFC?
Man, like this is a lot of work, Sam. Like just picking the picks alone. Like I'm going to actually put like a spreadsheet together for you.
Presumably, either the Texans or Bills.
I'll take Bengals, Bills.
Bengals, Bills. Okay.
Josh Allen versus Joe Burrow.
All right, that leaves you, Dave, to finish us off.
Well, I think Jeff's telling me I'm not a football procrastinator or a prognosticator because I'm going to say they're going to go to the championship game and lose.
Okay.
Wow, there you go.
That's
Dave. You're a smart guy, Dave.
Dave's the smartest one of the bunch because they go to the conference championship game every year, and no one's ever won 3 Super Bowls in a row. And no one's even like we said, it's been a long time since somebody's gone to a third Super Bowl.
I'm old enough to see all those three. So
Yes. So Dave has taken the elements of both sides, put them together, and come up with what, unfortunately, for Chiefs fans will probably be the right answer. We'll see. We'll see. All right, there's our predictions. We got some bold and daring predictions we're going to get to. But Dave, we want to let you go. Dave, again, thanks so much. Again, tell everybody how they get in touch with you if they got any questions, they need any information about insurance.
Yeah, just 816-781-7331 is the best way to get a hold of us. Just ask for the agent, and you guys get directed to my staff at any location. It's the same number for all locations.
All right. That's perfect. That's perfect. Dave, we appreciate the time. We appreciate the partnership, and look forward to talking to you again down the road.
Have a great one. See you guys.
Thank you, Dave.
Yep,
Thanks,
you bet.
Dave.
Absolutely. Dave does a fantastic job. David Starnes, Allstate Insurance, serving the greater KC area, all throughout the Midwest, covering all the important things in your world, home, business, life, even the fun stuff, motorcycles, boats, ATVs, you name it. He's got you covered in every way possible. You can give Dave and his crew a call right now. Go to David Starnes, Allstate Insurance. Make sure you tell him you heard about it right here on the Red, Gold, and Bold podcast. And if you want to be a complete kiss ass, tell him you love his picks. You know, there you go. Maybe you get a discount. I don't know. I don't want to promise anything I can't deliver, but I don't know. All right, real quick, our bold and daring predictions for the NFL. We gave our Chiefs ones earlier, but our bold and daring predictions for the NFL, we came up with 3. Jeff, your first one.
Bears have a top 5 offense.
Okay. Sam? Oh, my God. It is the sombrero. 3 in a row.
I wish, if I had thought about doing it on purpose, I would have done it on purpose, but it was not on purpose.
We're going quick. We're going quick.
Caleb Williams breaks Justin Herbert's rookie record for touchdowns, 31.
Okay, that's not bad. I've got Caleb Williams throwing for 28 touchdowns or more. So
it's not bold if someone else has 31.
I agree, but I'm taking a page out of your book and going with things where I want to be right, as opposed to being more bold. Number 2 for you, Jeff.
Jalen Hurts will be an MVP candidate again.
Okay, Sam.
Well, let me just go the complete opposite. Nick Sirianni does not survive the year with the Eagles.
I'll take Saquon Barkley. I've got Sirianni surviving. Saquon Barkley leading the NFL in yards from scrimmage. I think he's going to be dynamic with the Eagles. Jeff?
Number 3, Robert Saleh will be the coach of the year, except Soren won't vote for him. How about that?
I won't. I can't see that happening. All right, and Sam?
Mike Tomlin's 18th year in Pittsburgh is going to be his first losing season, and I actually think they lose 10+ this year.
Okay. I predicted that last year, and he burnt me, so I stayed away from it this year. I will take that Tom Brady is the best color analyst in the NFL by his second game on the job. I wanted to hate Tom Brady when I covered him in that Super Bowl. It was all by Zoom and everything, and he was outstanding. Like, I hated it. I hated how thoughtful he was in the questions and how kind he was to people. But I think he knows the game of football. I think he's going to be outstanding as a color analyst. And I think maybe there'll be some blips here or there in the first game, but by his second game, we're going to be like, oh yeah, those are the things Tony Romo used to kind of do a little bit, and he doesn't become insufferable and a pain in the ass. So I think Tom Brady is going to be the best color analyst in the NFL very quickly in his broadcast career. That's going to do it for us here on the Red, Gold, and Bold podcast. Remember, we're going to lock and load another one here in a second. We're going to talk about the Chiefs roster. So if you're finishing this podcast, get the next one. That's what's coming up. We're going to stream it live. Coming up next here on the Red, Gold, and Bold for Jeff Chadiha, Sam McDowell, I'm Soren Petro saying thank you very much. And for our buddy, David Starnes. David Starnes, Allstate Insurance, our friends at Gann Asphalt and Concrete. Of course, if you need anything with your parking lot, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Find them online at GannAsphalt.com. And our friends at Besame Wellness. You can save 25% on your entire order. Podcast25, save 25% with that promo code Podcast25 at Besame Wellness. So, again, for Jeff, Sam, my name is Soren Petro saying thank you very much for joining us here on the Red, Gold, and Bold podcast.